people say, what is the point of this? Isn't it globalists and social justice warriors, or globalists and tribalists? What is the point of talking about this? How does this affect me in my real life? Well, it does, because globalist is just a catch term. It doesn't really mean anything. It just means an average person, somebody who thinks of themselves as human, somebody who's working to work with any group of humans in order to get a job done. And they treat people based on merit, and they treat people based on action. They do not care about ideology. They don't care about lecturing people about what's right or wrong, about getting into the details of things, getting your hands dirty, and working to help average people, right? That's what the good globalists do. However, the bad globalists, the corporate globalists, the globalists who are actually, in fact, tribalists, here's the differentiation. Tribalists, like social justice warriors, who clearly just want people broken into groups, ethnic, religious, gender, whatever, just so they can increase their arbitrary rank. They're usually broke because they're unsuccessful. They come from an upper middle class family or wealthy family, and they know they're one phone call away from being back in that wealth, so they can do radical, crazy things like anarchists have always done, the children of rich people, aka it's like it's the hedge fund manager, hedge fund kid mentality of politics, the one who have all their physical needs met and who can believe in esoteric bullshit. So you have that group of the broke artist type. Then you have the wealthy tribalists, not the globalists. They go in between. People often call them globalists, but they're not. The tribalists who I'm talking about, who run the world, are those who run like a corporation and will willingly screw over the entire world just to make a little bit of profit on like something with global climate change, where they're having a disproportionate impact, even though companies can also be globalists. Like, for example, when there was an ozone layer issue, the companies also got together to resolve the hair care products that were affecting this, and over a very short time span, greatly impacted both scientifically and culturally this movement for climate change in a positive way. So just because you're a big company doesn't mean you're an asshole, or just because you're an asshole big company doesn't mean you can't be influenced by people who are normal, which is what happened. What I'm talking about is the people who decide you're not in their group, the people who decide that it doesn't matter if you're outside their company and you're polluting the water. It doesn't matter if these other towns get polluted as long as our town does well. It doesn't matter if we lay off mass people in like 20 states in America just to move it into one factory in India. It doesn't matter, because all that matters is our group makes money. Our shareholders or tribe members get taken care of, and then that we take care of them, and they take care of us through money, right? Through rank and power. That is the primary motivation of tribalists, is always to one-up other people, and not through any giant skill or contribution, even though some businesses do make those impacts. Like Bill Gates is wealthy, but his technology also greatly impacted the world through computers and software, even though today they've rolled back some and their prominence, but nonetheless it's big, right? So you can understand why there's that wealth, at least, hypothetically, right? But you can understand that, right? And Bill Gates himself advocates globalism, right? And giving up his wealth to a large variety of charities, which will proceed after his death to help many other normal people all over the country, not based on gender or race, right? That's what he's doing. Other wealthy people, they only give it to their family. They only give it to somebody with their same last name. And even those people, they brutally treat like they're not equal, not good enough, never can live up to it. Somebody like a Trump. These are the differences. You can be powerful and be a globalist and think for the average people. You can be powerful and think only for your family, right? These are the trends throughout human history that have always clashed. Now, it's weird to say how Trump can have something in common with a social justice warrior, but if you think about it, they're willingly using identity to get ahead politically. They're using it arbitrarily. They're not doing it based on for the good of all people, the good of everyone, using science and facts, right? Usually you'll see these leaders don't give a crap about facts. They'll make up facts on the spot, which Trump does. The social justice warriors will make up facts on the spot, like how everyone's a white supremacist and how everything's oppressing them right on the spot. They don't care about reality. They'll just say it's relative. They'll just say you're using your facts and that you're fake news or that you're fake facts because it disagrees with their narrative, right? Because all that matters is the identity. reality is controlled by identity, they believe, right? And the reason they believe that is they want to believe that they have a delusional amount of power. If they wanted to believe, oh no, I worked hard for my power, I run this team because I'm the best at running this team and I include everyone's opinions on an equal level, but I just have the most experience, they would have radically different philosophies in the workplace. They wouldn't be trying to just arbitrarily increase racial or gender groups just because that looks by physical appearance like they're making change. If this is the only marker of your change in your group, in your society, then you have a fake society, you have a fake goal. You're really just trying to increase your power. It's a completely selfish endeavor. However, that doesn't mean that those causes aren't real. That doesn't mean people don't need to come together to protect. If people like in Saudi Arabia, women aren't getting treated equally, you need to step in and help that from a local and a global perspective. Take into account whatever they need to get done and help. That's something you'll never see a social justice warrior do, because that tribal ethnicity of that religion is also oppressed, and we can't hurt them because they're oppressed and we're oppressed, and we don't know who's the most powerful in this situation. So they don't want to pull rank and then get the rank pulled on them because like Saudi Arabia is like incredibly powerful religion that's also somehow oppressed. So they could easily be made to look like they're bigots. So you can't call them out, but then so your bigotry is a cover for their bigotry, and nobody actually helps anybody, and at the end of the day, Saudi Arabia is still Saudi Arabia after 40 years of feminism in the West, right? It has no impact because those people never went over there and actually tried to help. And to be fair, they probably wouldn't be welcomed if they did, because the thing that works with changing places like Saudi Arabia, which are changing, and changing places like South Korea or Japan and the gender roles there, or the cultural roles of people in the certain ethnicities that are oppressed in Japan, both of South American and native traditions, especially within nursing. But these groups in every country have repressed groups, right? Bringing them together as one, as going, you are Japanese, you're going to make Japan better, we're going to make this place better, what do you want? That person is going to get results. That person is going to bring the people up in that community. Here's a clear example. Imagine going in to fix a well in a community that has arsenic in their water. They have a trouble with polluted water, and it's affecting thousands of people at a very rapid pace, and they don't believe this is an arsenic poisoning because the government just built Clean Wells project that they had to hear about for decades, and this is one of those clean wells, and it must be clean, and you're just trying to sell them filters because you're trying to make a buck off of poor people by convincing them of a fake science, right? Now, do you go into this equation saying, look, I understand I'm from a different culture and ethnicity, so I can never tell you the truth, your truth, right? You divide up the women and the men, and then try to empower the women to have more positions. Would you arbitrarily make all your leaders female just to please the notion that in India there's not enough women who are leaders? So you make a disproportionate amount of the people in the project female simply because they're female? And then you break it up and you find out, oh, there's both Hindus and Muslims in the city, which we have in some northern regions. Okay, so we're going to take the Muslim ones, which in India is mostly Hindu, so we're going to take the Muslim ones, and Muslim women are going to be the ones running this project, right? And they've done it through merit and through skill, and we're doing equity, and we're trying to improve these things, right? You're going to have a project that will never get funding, that will never get done, and that will get sabotaged every step of the way because people think you purposely sabotage them, and your project will never launch. It will be burned to the freaking ground before it ever gets out there. And if it does, people won't use it because they feel like you exploited them. The way you go into that problem and solve it is as a globalist, as an average citizen. You go, look, I'm going to work with anyone who wants to help on this water issue. Okay, local religious leaders want to be included? Okay, sure. Of both groups, fine, whatever. Do you want, okay, this young lady professor is also willing to help. Okay, this young businessman is also willing to work. And yeah, they argue. But yeah, guess what? They all are willing to help, and that's what counts. And then you get results by getting these people together, working with the community on all different levels, men and women, equally. All religions equally, and then you get the problem solved with whoever shows up, whoever gets shit done. And that's who you use to bring arsenic out of their water and prevent poisoning in this town. You do it through integrity, you do it through action, and you do it through science. You do not go in with an ideology pre-subscribed before you even land on the ground and then lecture everyone about some social justice bullshit that they've never even heard of before, that doesn't even matter, because they don't care if a man or a woman gives them clean water to their family and their children. They just want clean water. And that's what the real world is run by. The real world is run by practical people solving problems. Globalists, average citizens, whatever you want to call them. Just freaking people, not people with this ideological bullshit, with this tribalist bullshit of everyone's in groups and all these stratifications, and all we're just struggling against endless oppression of some imaginary other super powerful human being that you never meet. It is much more close to schizophrenia than it is to reality. And the only reason people are willing to believe in this is because they'll never go into the ground and get action in the communities they talk about. They'll never actually get results or hold themselves to facts and improving metrics within their city and data and actually working with people. And they won't ever have a conversation with somebody ideologically diverse, which will actually lend to the solution, because often you're wrong. Often along the ways you have to correct yourselves and improve your strategies. And the only way to do that is with input from everyone. Because sometimes the one in the corner, the white guy in the corner that you think is not going to have the answer, or the black woman in the corner you have prejudice against, one of them might have the only solution to a problem technically you're dealing with. And if you don't get all those people involved, if you don't listen to their opinions as equals, then that's when you fail. This idea that we're no longer human, that humanity comes second to identity, is insane. It will never work. It will only lead to failure and harm in our society. And we must stand against it.